In the early 1940s, as World War II raged across Europe and the Pacific, the United States faced a deadly problem. Every time American forces sent radio messages, the Japanese intercepted them, decoded them, and ambushed troops before they could react. Military codes kept getting cracked and lives were being lost. The use needed something unbreakable, something no enemy could understand. That solution would come from one of America's oldest cultures, spoken in one of the world's most complex and little-known languages, the Navajo language. At the time, fewer than 30 non-Navajo people could even speak it fluently. It had no alphabet, no written form, and a structure so intricate that even if you recorded it, outsiders couldn't translate it. It was perfect for war. In 1942, a small group of Navajo men answered the call. Philip Johnston, a World War I veteran, and the son of missionaries who had lived among the Navajo, brought the idea to the U.S. Marine Corps. He knew that the Navajo language was unlike any other, impossible to decode without cultural understanding. The Marines listened, tested it, and realized they had found a secret weapon that no cipher machine could match. 29 Navajo recruits were sent to Camp Pendleton in California. Their mission: to create a secret code based on their native tongue that could be used in combat communications. But this wasn't as simple as speaking Navajo over the radio. Military terminology, like machine gun, submarine, or battalion, didn't exist in the Navajo language. So, the recruits created an entirely new system, blending Navajo words with military meaning. For example, the word for turtle meant tank. Ironfish meant submarine. Chicken hawk stood for dive bomber. Each letter of the English alphabet was also assigned a Navajo word, like Wolachi for A, Bilasana for B, and Tse-Nil for C. They memorized every code by heart. Nothing was written down. There were no books, no recordings, and no notes to fall into enemy hands. Their memories were their weapons. When the first Navajo Code Talkers were deployed to the Pacific, no one knew if it would actually work. But during the Battle of Guadalcanal in 1942, their code was tested in the chaos of real combat. Messages that once took hours to send and decode were transmitted and understood in seconds, with perfect accuracy. Commanders were astonished. The code was faster than any encryption machine and impossible for the Japanese to decipher. As the war spread across the Pacific, from Tarawa to Saipan, from Iwo Jima to Okinawa, the Code Talkers became an invisible force behind every major Marine victory. At Iwo Jima, their contribution became legendary. During one of the bloodiest battles of the war, Major Howard Connor of the 5th Marine Division relied entirely on 6 Navajo Code Talkers to coordinate communications. For 2 days straight, those 6 men sent over 800 messages, all without a single error. Connor later said, "Were it not for the Navajos, the Marines would never have taken Iwo Jima." Their code remained unbroken throughout the entire war. The Japanese, who had captured American code books, and even Navajo soldiers, could never make sense of the spoken code. One Japanese intelligence officer later admitted they were completely baffled. Despite their critical role, the Code Talkers' work was kept secret for decades. The code itself was classified until 1968, more than 20 years after the war ended. Many Navajo veterans returned home unable to tell even their families what they had done. They lived quietly, carrying the weight of history on their shoulders, unrecognized for their heroism. It wasn't until 1982 that President Ronald Reagan officially recognized their service, declaring August 14th as National Navajo Code Talkers Day. Later, in 2001, President George W. Bush awarded the original 29 Code Talkers the Congressional Gold Medal, and hundreds more received the Silver Medal for their contributions. Today, only a few of those brave men are still alive. But their legacy continues not just as military heroes, but as protectors of culture and language. The Navajo language they used, once discouraged in schools and nearly lost to assimilation, became one of the most powerful tools of victory in modern warfare. The Code Talkers proved something greater than any codebreaker ever could, that diversity is strength. that language is power, and that even in war, identity can become a nation's greatest shield. When we hear the words freedom, honor, and sacrifice, we must remember their voices, carried across static-filled radios, echoing through jungles and beaches, saving lives one coded message at a time. They didn't fight for fame or recognition. They fought for their brothers beside them, for their land, and for a country that didn't always see them as equals. But through courage, discipline, and brilliance, the Navajo Code Talkers became one of the most decisive weapons of World War II and one of the most inspiring chapters in American history. Their code is silent now, but their legacy still speaks in the freedom they helped secure and in every heartbeat of the nation they defended. Check out our other videos about Native American culture here, and let me know what other topics you'd like me to talk about.